I'm Ode. That's Vicky. I'm me. You're you. We are we.
Oh my god, that was
That's
so
cheesy,
corny.
right? The You, Me,
Oh my
We
goodness.
podcast. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the You, Me, We podcast. I'm Ode,
I'm Vicky.
and we are here. I'm assuming Vicky doesn't want to do any small talk. She wants to go right
No, we
into
could
the
do
nitty
small
gritty.
talk. I thought this is about.
Okay.
This is just a recording.
Yeah. So, how are you, Vicky? How are you doing?
Aside from how agitated I am, I'm okay
Why are you agitated?
because of like what we're gonna talk about.
Oh, okay.
But I'm okay. How about
Good.
you?
I'm good. I'm good.
I finally cooked after like 2 weeks of not cooking,
Look at you. Look at you being.
and it came out so good. So I hope you just so hungry you don't taste the difference.
I haven't tasted it yet.
I know.
Our son is turning up in the background. I wonder if I could get him on camera so you guys can see him just being a monster in the background. So if you see us
You'll see him floating back here somewhere.
if you see one of us give that look, that's because we're about to, because he's a terrorizer, and we got to give him that look sometimes that says, if this camera was off,
No.
there you go, that look. So let's get right into it, Vicky. So tell everybody what we're talking about today.
Okay, so we're talking about so I think everyone has seen that I don't know, it's not a meme.
No, it was a post.
It was a post by Christopher Holmes. I have no idea who that is.
Mm-hmm.
And his post shows a picture of a social distancing at a social distancing ceremony, it looks like. And it says, "Let this sink in. Those who want to get married are getting married. Those who want a wedding are waiting for Corona to be over." So I actually I've seen this a few times already. I saw this a handful of times a week ago, actually. Because I saw this a while ago, actually. Because I remember I messaged someone.
I missed a good opportunity you said about a week ago.
Yeah. So I messaged the person, one of the people who had posted it, and I was like, "Yup, and what's your point?" And they're like, nah, but you like already married. And I'm like, no, I'm not.
She ain't put a ring on it yet.
What's the point? What's your point? But I thought that was like, you know how like from one day to the next you kind of just like forget things. So it was whatever. And then it just started floating back around again. And I'm like, yo, this is such an agitating topic.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, you know what? Let me see how people feel about it. And, on our Instagram, on Facebook, you pretty much, it's like 50-50. Like, people agree with it, and you have people who don't agree with it, and people who shared, like, their story. So, I don't know. Let me ask you, Ode, because I'm trying to calm myself down, because let me tell you, I went to sleep at 3 a.m. I'm one of those people that if I feel like I'm just trying to hold back words, it is very hard for me to sleep. It's very hard for me to concentrate. I start sweating. I start like itching like crazy. That's how I know that like, yo, just say what you got to say so that you can just be at peace with yourself. So before I get myself riled up talking about it, how do you feel about it? Like when you saw it, you were like, what was your initial thought about it?
When I saw it, I know there's people who have certain views on weddings.
Right.
The size of a
you're
wedding.
One of those people.
The size of a wedding, how extravagant you go for a wedding. There's always been, you've always heard that conversation of a wedding versus a marriage. Some people want a wedding while some want a marriage.
Right. Which is true. That there is truth to that.
When I saw the post, I felt like that was that conversation, but also like factoring in to me, like, I guess it was a little trolling, factoring in the current pandemic. I did feel it wasn't sensitive. I felt it was one of those mind your business kind of things. Like, that had nothing to do with you. Like, that's not stay out of people's business. That's what I meant. Stay out of people's business. And to me, it was just kind of it. I see what the person was going for. As with all, when people post like what could be considered a troll type post, I see what they were going for. But to me, They missed the mark.
Said the
they
post
missed
was
the mark.
so tone deaf.
Yeah, yes, that's what I'm looking for. Tone deaf, and they missed the mark, and it was very like to me, it was very self-centered. The post, and in no way, I guess a preface to our conversation. In no way are we anything we're going to say moving forward. Are we knocking anyone who made the decision to move their wedding up? Anyone who had a wedding ceremony planned for anywhere from February to now, or
future,
June,
right?
July, August, September, October, November, 2021. Who knows?
2020.
Yeah.
Okay, because I think we can all agree it has been bagged and trashed.
Yeah, in nowhere are we knocking. 'Cause I know a few people who moved their wedding up. I just got a gig to DJ a wedding. I'm gonna be under my tent with my glass and don't touch me. In nowhere are we knocking anyone who has made that decision. However, we are going to be giving reasons as to why people who feel that those who chose to push their wedding back, why, or for those who feel, people who made that decision, such as us, to push our wedding back, why that whole view of us doing it because we're putting more value on the wedding ceremony than we are in our marriage, we're going to give reasons as to why you kind of come off as like a hypocrite. You kind of come off judgmental. And those of me using nice words, Vicky might use worse words.
I'm going to be really honest with you. I was trying, so me and Ode were having, is there more?
Go ahead. I'm done.
Okay, right? So, okay, let me paint y'all the picture. So, wow, okay, wow, caballos. Can you watch it there? Aquí? Gracias. Okay, so.
Parenting 101.
So, I was like, okay, one of the hardest things about the podcast is trying to keep a level of, I guess, civility between the different followers, the different personalities. You want to tread lightly. You don't want to offend people. We don't want to push people away from the podcast. Like, obviously, we want people to subscribe and listen and really look forward to
we have
our
family
podcast.
that listen. We have coworkers that listen.
Ode has coworkers that listen.
Students that listen.
He has students that listen. So they have a lot more waging on this than I do.
And we have people like Jessica that listen too, so you got to consider them as well.
So, so it's very hard for me to tread that line because I have always been so abrasive about my approach on things, which is like I'm bulldozing in that direction, and whether you're in my path or not, that's up to you. You can either step to the side or you can stay in my path and I'm still taking you down. Like, that has always been my approach. So, with age and maturity, that has softened in a way.
Not saying it went away.
It didn't go away because that has always been part of me.
Vicky will still bulldoze you. She'll just gently tap you with the car, Go ahead.
Yeah, so I, with maturity and with age and whatever and reprioritizing things, I realize, okay, not everything needs that approach, but it's still inside of me. So when it gets mustered up, I can't stop that. Like, it just goes. Like, the button flicks and it just goes. And I'm well aware of what's about to happen, and I'm just sitting back like,
you asked for it.
I can't stop this.
So how did you feel about it?
So when I saw it, the first time I saw it, I was like, and after the third time I saw it, that's when I messaged that one person, like, I do, and what's up? Like, what's up? Say something. And then when I saw it circulating again, I was so over it. Like, I was just like, you know what? I'm not going to say nothing about this because I'm so upset that I'm going to really hurt people's feelings. Like, I'm going to hurt feelings. And then I was like, let me just put it out there. And people started sharing their opinion. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to hurt feelings. I don't even care at this point. So here's my take on this whole thing, right? If you're single, if you are not engaged,
make eye contact with them.
You are not part of this conversation.
Ooh.
You're not. Thank you for your opinion. I don't care. Like, honestly, if your judgmental ass opinion about, like, those who want to get married gonna get married, period, you are not engaged. There's no incentive to get married because you're not there.
So you can't be part of the conversation.
Like, you are sitting at the kids' table right now. I'm at the adult table. Like, we're not having the same conversation. So, like,
you and me are not the same.
Like, you can have that opinion. You can have your opinion. But I'm letting you know that your opinion is very worthless to me because we're not in the same table. We're not sitting at the same table. We're in the same room, but we're not in the same table. So, like, I can't even hear you because you're, like, all the way at the end. Actually, like, the kids' table is not even next to the adult table. It's, like, off to the side in another room. That's where you are. We're in the same house. But we're not in the same room. We're not at the same table. So we're not talking. Oh. Like, we're not, I don't, so to me, when people, I'm like, sis, how you have such a strong opinion, but you're not even engaged. You're not even in a relationship.
Sis or bro, we could be talking about
when
anybody.
I say sis, that is not gender specified. I mean that to every single person. Mm-hmm. I don't care what you identify with. I'm gonna call you sis.
Disrespectful, but go ahead.
What are we even talking about? And this is like, again, you are welcome to have your opinion. You are, but just know that your opinion, you're a jerk for your opinion because you're not even like. You're not part of this conversation.
Like Vince just reminded us, like the great philosopher Tekashi 6ix9ine said, if you ain't got this watch, you can't even talk to me. So if you ain't got this ring or this relationship, you can't be a part of this conversation.
We're not having this conversation because you're not in my headspace right now. And so if your opinion is to be judgmental about people who put off their wedding, mm-hmm. you don't have a valid opinion because your opinion is based off nothing. You're not even there. Like, you're not part of the situation. And then people who are married and have that judgmental ass opinion, you married. What? Why you worried about when people decide to get married or, like causing that kind of judgment on them? Like, you already married. You already got married. You should be a little more sympathetic. I would understand people that are single, people that are not engaged. I understand those people's opinion because, like I said, it comes there's no attachment to have that opinion. To be judgmental is easier because there's nothing holding them to that. You know what I'm saying? But when you're married and you've already had your wedding, you had your day, you had your time, you had your shine.
Shut your mouth.
How are you not sentimental to the circumstances that these people that we people like us have been placed in? That's just, you're rude. Like, you're such a jerk.
So some of the comments, because I went to the page of the person that posted it because I wanted to see what the comments were because we saw the comments from other people. Some of the comments made me realize, well, I guess not that I agree with, but I see where some people were coming from. Not that I agree with them, but I see where they were coming from.
I see where everybody's coming from. I'm letting you know the value of your opinion. Your opinion is trash because it has no foundation. It has no basis. We're not at the same table. If you are already married, you're a hater. You're being a hater because instead of being sympathetic to a situation that you've already got to experience, right? That's like me. Let me see. That's the equivalent. Oh, perfect example. That's like me judging the way that my dad takes care of his vehicle.
So that's you with your...
My dad has a really fancy car. That's literally me judging my dad.
Flex. Go ahead, flex.
I'm broke. There is no flexing on my end.
Flex for your
father
dad. Flex for you.
Has a Lamborghini.
My inheritance.
That's literally me going to my dad and telling him, like, yo, that's not how you take care of a Lamborghini. What are you doing?
Hold on.
You really want to take care of this Lamborghini, this is what you got to do. My dad will straight up hit me with you have one? Have you ever had one?
So, gentlemen.
No? Oh, okay.
For those of you who have
Why are we talking?
Those of you who have been wondering, gentlemen or ladies, how to get you a Lamborghini, find a significant other with a dad with a Lamborghini, put a ring on it.
Yeah, I don't think.
Get your name in the will.
I've seen that car like twice in my whole life.
You will get you a Lamborghini.
But that's my point. Like I can have an opinion. I can share with him my thoughts on how to take care of his vehicle, right? Mm-hmm. How much of a value you think he's gonna have of my opinion? None. Because I'm not in that field. Like I'm not even on his level. Like I've never even held a Lamborghini key car, like the car for the key. I've never even held. I don't even know what it looks like. I'm not part of that conversation, so I can have my opinion. Everyone gets to have an opinion. You just have to admit to the level of how much of a jerk you are for to having a judgmental opinion on a situation that you are not in, and there are people in. There are people who have financially invested in the wedding of their dreams, and they lost it. That there's venues are like, yo, I can't give you your money. Like, you canceled on me last minute. Technically, like there's the only people who can have an opinion about this is people whose weddings are this year. Anyone whose wedding was affected by coronavirus, your opinion is the only opinion that matters. And anyone that has gotten married, has had to postpone, reschedule, whatever, or went ahead and got married and they're going to hold the thing later, I have not seen one of those people not be mindful and just like their heart breaks for other couples that are going through the same thing. Yeah. None of them have been judgmental, like, oh, guess they don't really love each other because they didn't get married, but we did. Like, no, they're just like, yo, everybody's kind of just like frantic, and you just do what your heart tells you, and that's pretty much how it is. And I feel like that's how it should be. Like, this is emotional, and then for like, I'm gonna tell you how I really felt.
I'm gonna
just
sit back and.
All right, so I'm gonna tell you how I really felt.
Oh, now?
No, I'm gonna tell you how I really felt personally. That's how I felt about people's opinion on the matter. I'm gonna tell you how I felt personally as someone who was affected by coronavirus. My wedding plans, as much as I did not do a damn thing for it, I was still affected by it. I feel some type of way. I do. I feel some type of way if you are my guest. If you are one of the people that I invited and your opinion is to side with this post, I feel some kind of way. Because you know what, and I'm not going to say Ode correct me if I'm wrong. We could have went ahead and get married. Other people went ahead and get married. And then they're going to be like, hey, we're just going to do the reception. We're just going to do a do-over at a later date. But we really want to get married, and we're just going to go ahead and do it. And so people did what they wanted to do. It did not mean that they cared less about their wedding or that they cared more about their smaller ceremony. It does not mean that they will have a more successful marriage. It does not mean that the people that put it off are going to have a less successful marriage. It doesn't mean that they prioritized their wedding over their marriage. And so if I invited you to my wedding, I feel some kind of way about you having that judgment, because the way that me and Ode see it is, we want to get married. We do. And we even discussed getting married, whatever. But we were like, you know what? That feeling, that moment when we become one, we want all our guests to be witness to that moment. We want them there. We want them to take a part of it with us. Because yes, a marriage is between two people, but we would be lying. Yeah. You are lying to yourself if you think that a marriage is strictly and solely between two people. Every person that your spouse and you encounter play a part in your marriage. There's a reason why married people hang out with married people. Of course, there's married people that hang out with single people, but there's a reason why they gravitate more to those people, because now they share a commonality of a life that they're trying to move forward with. So I feel like if you are my guest and you have that sentiment of like, oh, people that want to be married are going to get married, and people that want a wedding are going to wait for coronavirus to be over, don't come. Do not come to my wedding. Uninvite yourself. That is your opinion. You are more than welcome to opinion. You are more than welcome to judge. But me and Ode, we have placed a priority. We prioritized vibes. We prioritized energy. We prioritized to have the right people who are there supporting us no matter what we do. Being judgy about us putting it off or doing whatever, having that judgment, you are uninvited. Don't come to my wedding. Do not come to our wedding. It will be on site on my wedding day. Don't come to my wedding, because that is such a sacred moment for us. We are willing at 60 days. We went from going 60 days to the day of the wedding. We made a decision to say, nah, we want the people that we invited. We love them so much, and they're so important to us that we are willing to throw it off. 365 days on top of the 60 days.
You know what that reminded me of? Do you recall one thing I used to always say about the guest list? My thing was always everyone that I want, for me, everyone that's at that wedding is just as happy as I am. They're going to be just as happy.
Yes.
And if we were to, this won't happen, but if we were to not work out, they would be just as sad as I would be.
Right.
And some people don't want to sacrifice that event.
I don't want to sacrifice.
All those people are there.
I want to share that moment with everyone I invited, because and I mean, like I said, I barely worked on anything for the wedding, but the guest list, I feel like most people we like really labored over it, because there was so many people that we really wanted to invite, but we had to limit to certain people. We both have really large families, and I'm very firm about, like, do not come to my wedding if that is your opinion. You are more than welcome to have that opinion. Like I said, you are more than welcome to have that opinion. Don't come to my wedding if that's your thought. If you feel that because we put off our wedding, that we are not prioritizing our marriage, stay home, sis. Stay home, bro.
I feel like
stay home, whoever it is. Stay home. Sit it out and stay home. Facebook tells all. IG tells all. And even when I'm not looking, people sending me screenshots. I'm keeping the list. Don't show up. You are not invited
What is
anymore.
going on your social media?
It has been revoked. Like, I don't like that kind of energy. Let me tell you, two of my best friends got married. I was not invited. I was not there. And if I felt some kind of way about not being there, then how happy am I for them, really? I was just excited that they went ahead and got married to the loves of their life. So if you're not with that same energy, sit it out.
People want to call in and give their
sit it out. Enjoy the wedding like everybody else that was not able to get an invitation. Enjoy it like everybody else on social media. Just follow some of the guests. I'm sure people are going to post it a year from now or whatever, a year from the date. Just sit it out. I need you to sit it out, because you are not on team Vicky and Ode. You are on team, I'm going to come and be a judgy ass person. You coming to a budget ass wedding to be a judgy person. Yo, I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to be disappointed. You're going to be disappointed, because we are prioritizing vibes. We're prioritizing energy. Yeah. We just want to the moment, the day to be filled with love, to be filled with fun, to be filled with family, to be filled with friends who are family. It's just family, love, and fun.
Let me tell y'all
all
something.
We care about.
Now that we have an extra year, we just have an extra year to be even more cost effective and cheap.
Yeah. No, F that. I'm like, you know what? I got time now. I got time to build this. I got time to build this. I could build that. I could do all of this. So, it's just it is infuriating that people are so judgmental.
Oh, you mad?
It's infuriating that people are judgmental when their opinion is like trash, because like you don't get to have you get to have an opinion. You don't get to have an opinion that's worth acknowledging. And then you have people that are married passing that judgment, and it's like, yo, I'm pretty sure that this hater ass energy that you're giving off right now, you could just redirect it into your marriage. Because let me tell you, why are we not applying that same energy for people who take 2-3 years to get married because they're planning their wedding? Okay. Why are we not giving that energy to people who get engaged and don't get married the next day?
So,
all of a sudden we're not prioritizing weddings, we're not prioritizing marriages. Whatever.
Like what I was saying earlier. Some of the comments were interesting, because one person, actually I think on your post, somebody made a comment of, for those who have that view of, who are judging those people who push their wedding off, what about, then for those who moved it up, then why were you planning something in the first place? And these are for those who are being judgmental of those who pushed it back and moved theirs up. But originally you had a plan to wait for a little bit. And that's what that comment was referring to. Because Because if you really feel that way, then you wouldn't be engaged for more than a couple
days.
The amount of days it would take to call the court to find out when you can come in, to go in to get your license, whatever. If that's how you truly feel. Because if you were planning something, then you do value the family, the experience,
you do value
the
people
event.
being there to share that moment with you. So don't, like, in the middle of a pandemic, instead of feeling for people like, damn, they can't have their wedding because, gathering people might put somebody at risk and they die. You're here like, oh, they too worried about having a wedding and not getting married. Man, suck. Not.
You got people that listen to calm down. After a couple of years, you learn how to filter Vicky. So you know what?
I just welcome you all to.
You know what I thought of? I feel like some people don't realize that for others, it's not just this event that you just kind of get together. You spend a lot of money. Some people like us, we're being very cost effective. That's not the word. Frugal, cheap. We're being cheap, but we're having a nice wedding.
Like,
but anyway, hold on. What some people don't realize that for some and in some cultures, that event is. My son's calling me. It's very big, as in like just the overall event. Because for us, the night before, in my culture, we were gonna have a very traditional family. A special family thing. My son's calling me.
Yes, we were having a traditional event, and I considered that too. I'm like, I don't want to sacrifice that because then it just takes away from the whole thing, right? Like we would have that event, but we would already be married. Like there was just a lot on the table, and it just was not worth it. Like, since I've been here for 10 years, one more year was not going to kill me. One more year was not going to kill me. And like to psych myself out and say like, oh, but what if something happens and one of you, like, as morbid as this is, I've heard people say like, but what if waiting and someone dies? How was I going to stop that? There's nothing I can do about that. I'm not going to psych myself into something, looking at just all the things that could go wrong. Imagining all the bad things that could have gone wrong. Not one person wondered, hey, I wonder if there's going to be a virus that floats through the air and kills people that comes around the time of my wedding. No one imagined that.
Moving forward,
we're gonna have to consider. But I just it absolutely infuriated the living shit out of me when I saw that. When I saw people being judgy, and more, I took it personally when I saw people that were invited to my wedding sharing that sentiment. Like, I don't want you there. I don't, me and Ode, we had a discussion about a person on the guest list. And I'm like, I just don't get good vibes and I don't want them there. The vibes is what matters. Our wedding is not a political event. Our wedding is not a socializing event. Our wedding is not a let's rub elbows with the right people, shoulders, whatever. It's not that kind of event because we're not focused on that. And I get, like you're saying, like it's frugal, it's whatever, because it's not that we're being frugal, we're being cheap or whatever. It's that we're just putting money towards the things that we know make a good party.
You know what I realized?
And that's all we care about. We just want a good party because we like a good time. We like to have fun. We want to share that moment with people. And if some guests can't see that, then see it from your house on the day that we get married, because you are not invited anymore. Don't come. Uninvite yourself. RSVP, no.
I think some people feel that way because, and going off of the comments, you realize that a lot of people, when they hear or think wedding, they think money. And you saw that from the comments. There are those people who they can't see a wedding and this is not a knock on anybody who your wedding costs a certain amount of money. Some people can't see a wedding being under a certain double-digit thousand, whatever, price tag. And I realized that some people were commenting that, and I realized how that mindset could play a part in both arguments. Some people were commenting that, hey, with all that money that I spent, I can't just cancel. I got to get my money's worth. And there's some who might feel the reason why you pushed it back is because you only care about the fluff, the money stuff. But like I was trying to say, it's not that for everyone. Our wedding wasn't going to be the double-digit $1,000, but it was going to be more of a, like you said, a vibe with family and friends. And I realized that some people feel that way, that it is this big money thing. And that's what I think was fueling the mindset of some of the people who were coming off very judgmental.
I think that people were just like, if you're going to get married, if you want to get married, nothing's going to stop you. You're right. You are absolutely right. But I want to get married how I want to fucking get married. And how I want to get married is by having a wedding the same day. That's how I want to get married. Other people want to get married however they want to get married. My thing is, if you ain't cutting a check for the wedding, why are you talking?
Or, no, hold on. Here's my thing. If you are cutting a check for the wedding, thank you. And then again, why?
Mind your business. It ain't your wedding. So, I want to get married how I want to get married. Why? Because of coronavirus am I being judged for not getting married the way I want to get married? I want to start my marriage with a wedding. Mm-hmm. Other people decided to start their marriage with a ceremony and deciding to do a bigger event later. I think that's great. Originally, that was my plan. My plan, and I think I've shared this before when I said, I think it's great, or for me, it makes more sense if we have invested a decade into the relationship and then we blow out the money on the wedding. Because I feel like we worked at it. We're celebrating 10 years in, and we earned to have the big wedding. Like, that's how I felt.
Yeah.
And I'm 10 years in. I want my marriage to start with a wedding.
Just a quick correction.
I earned it. We deserve it. And I'm going to have it.
Just a quick correction.
Just not with you no more. And it's not with y'all, because it's not just one person. It's not with y'all.
Hold on. Just a quick correction. I know. I keep saying, we were being cheap with the planning. We just put a lot of thought into what we want to spend money on, and we were creative with the planning of our wedding. And I've said this on a past episode where some people might, there's wedding venues, and wedding venues come with a certain price tag. We found a venue that
keep
works.
calling it a venue, and you are overselling
No. Hold on. I'm just saying, we found a venue that works, that looks nice, and it works
location.
We found a location that can pass for a beautiful wedding venue. Just wording those two things differently is a different. The price range is very different. It's the same as just getting a DJ and then getting a wedding DJ. Apparently, the price is different. Trust me, I know. So that's why I keep saying, that our wedding is our wedding. We were creative with the cost. One of the good things about being a DJ or being like a photographer, you get to work, you get to meet a lot of people in that circuit, and you can start reaching out to your friends. Because some of the entertainment that we're gonna have for our wedding is gonna be from friends. I'm not saying we're not paying them; we are gonna be paying them, but they're from friends, and it does change the price,
Okay, gimme. And then that, thank you that you brought that up. So let me give you a further reason, right? So I'm obviously now talking about myself. I'm not speaking for other people. But let me give you a further reason why I want to have my wedding with my marriage. Okay. I don't want them separate. I want them together. Because the people that we're using for most of our stuff are friends. And their business.
Everything is friends.
Oh, except for like food. We haven't, like catering might be. Yeah. So we want that to be all our guests. We want them to associate all our poppin' ass friends' businesses with a good time.
We network.
So that when they want to have an event, they'll be like, yo, you remember their wedding? It was so much fun. Who was it that did the alcohol? Who hosted? Who DJ'd? Who whatever? We wanna set that off for our friends. Now, I'm not saying that we can't do that with a reception and ceremony later down the line. I'm saying I want all those emotions. You can't replace that. If we went ahead and got married now, and I'm speaking for me and Ode, it's a dub. That's it. The moment has passed. The ship has sailed. It's just not going to be the same feeling for me. It's not. If we got married now, and then we redid for the bigger wedding or whatever, for the more formal one with the dress and all that, it's a dub for me. The moment has passed. I want that moment. I know myself. Once the moment has passed, it just has passed. At this point, now I'm just putting on a show. And that is not what I want. I don't want that.
You know what I thought of?
But how can you, you're just you people that are being so judgmental, you are so insensitive
people.
through such a tough time for
Yeah.
a lot of people through all different price ranges. So the cheap people,
Creative.
the people who we're gonna have destination weddings, the people who were gonna have the really big weddings that they've poured them, their families, whatever, have poured money into, and now they're just like scrambling. The people who constantly have to keep rescheduling their ceremony and their reception. Do you know how one girl, she's on her third date?
Damn.
On her third date. But let me guess, her wedding is more important than
She just
her marriage.
wants a wedding. That's what
You
people
know,
say.
like get on my face with that. You're so judgmental. This ain't the time. Like, that is not the thing to be judgmental about. People are gonna get married how they want to get married, the same way that people are gonna divorce how they want to divorce. How you get married and how you start, that may play a factor depending on what you're prioritizing. But because you're putting it off during coronavirus, doesn't mean that you are destined for one path and destined for the other. Like, that shit is whack. You're being mad whack. You're judging people during freaking pandemic, right? A pandemic. This is what you're choosing to be like, let this sink in. Get the fuck out of
You know what this conversation made me think of? What happened to the whole that's just a piece of paper. You can just kind of be with who you are and just be in love. Remember that conversation? Where getting married, however you did it, was the taboo thing for some people. It was the whole, that's just a piece of paper. That's just a legal thing.
I used to think
what
that.
happened to that conversation?
And then God showed me the light.
Showed you that ring.
No, but it's true. Look, as Oliver was like, some people are pushing their birthday parties, baby showers, and engagement parties because they want their loved ones to celebrate with them. It's not because of money or gifts. Thank you.
And for those listening, Oliver is one of the people in Facebook right now, or on our Facebook Live chat. And so we're getting comments. What we can read some of those comments, which you guys are giving great input. Oliver, I think actually, that was one of the comments I saw that I was like, preach on it.
Yeah,
you know?
like it's so true. Like, yes, I understand that, in some cultures, the wedding gifts and whatever, like, that's when people cash in. It's like they didn't even pay anything on their wedding. That's awesome. But we are not planning our wedding for that.
Yeah.
If we get our money back, great. If we don't, still great.
I've always said
we are focused on hosting a great party with great vibes, great company for a great moment. That is all we're focusing on. What we come out of it with is just a bonus. We are not expecting anything. And it's really like we just want to share that moment with you.
If you heard our episode
Which is why I'm like, stay home for the ones who are being judgmental. I no longer want to share that moment with you because you're so judgmental that you didn't even stop to think, damn, that sucks, because I know they're putting it out because they want all of us to be there.
Yeah. If you heard our episode where we spoke to Adari, who is a wedding planner, you knew my my view on the whole thing of people bringing money because
gifts.
I don't want you don't have to come with a gift, a check, cash, or anything. I personally do not want you coming to my wedding.
Just come with good energy.
With anything, because I chose to ask Vicky to marry me. We chose to plan a wedding for the price tag that we did. We chose the venue. We chose whatever. I don't want you coming feeling like I gotta give him the equivalent of a plate. I gotta make sure I bring a gift because you know what I can't afford a gift. So I'm not gonna go. No, I just want you there. I just want your presence because it's not the wedding. It's not the cost of it. It's the vibe, the experience, the people that are there. I want you there, not your money, not your gift.
If you bring it, great. That's why I was so torn up about it because I'm like, oh, I don't like this. Like, I don't like this kind of energy. And it was just really upsetting to see guests, plural guests, share that sentiment. Because it's like, damn, I just wanted you there for good vibes. But now that I see, like, you're judging me now about my decision, then you're really going to be judging me at my wedding. Because now you're over-expecting. Because that's how I feel. Like, you're judging me now because you think that I'm more interested in my marriage. You think that I'm more interested in my wedding. So next year, you're expecting this grandeur thing because you think that because your opinion is that I prioritized my wedding over my marriage. And so you think that you're coming to something. And sis,
Wrong.
again, that's everybody. You're expecting this. You should be expecting this down here. Like, and so that's why I'm like, I don't want you there. Because I don't want you there. You're like, you're thoughtless. You are thoughtless. You're thoughtless. You're inconsiderate. You're judgmental. All things that I don't want from any guest. I don't want that from any guest. I like literally when people were asking me like, yo, what's the dress code for your wedding? I'm like, comfortable. Bring flats. Don't wear heels. We're going to be on the grass. Bring flats. Just no khakis. But, you know, like, dress nice. Floral dresses.
As you are.
Come with a dress that lets you breathe, because we're going to be jumping. We're going to be dancing. We're going to be burning calories, you know? Like, that's the vibe that I was going for. So that's why it was very upsetting to see guests for me. I'm like, oh, y'all feel like that? Sit it out, you know? You good. We good. You can have an opinion. We good. I just don't want you there. Like, so, that moment is so sacred for me. I have waited 10 years, okay? I waited 10. You see all this? I waited 10 years for this. I don't want you. I don't want anything disturbing that vibe. I waited 10 years. Now 11 years for this moment. There is a lot on the line. There's a lot on the line for me and Ode on this. Like, it's not even like finances of the wedding or whatever, but there's a lot on the line.
Death.
So for us to push it off another 365, it's like, you didn't even stop to think like, damn, I know someone in this situation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And because of that, I literally, like, I should have just made a list. Like, these are all the reasons why I no longer want you at my wedding. Reason A, B, C, D. Because it's like, it's just such an inconsiderate thing. And I was having this discussion with someone, and they were like, you know, but that's their opinion, and you're kind of hanging them for their opinion. What if their opinion, you know, like, what if they weren't even thinking about you when they posted it? I'm like, that's my point. That's my point. You don't have to be. I'm giving everybody that I feel some type of way about it. I'm giving everyone the benefit of the doubt that you were not intentionally trying to shade me, that you were not intentionally trying to come at my neck, that you were not intentionally judging me. But the unintentionality, I don't know if that's a word, but
it is now.
The way that you were not able to think of someone so close to the actual wedding date about this topic is why I don't want you there. Because you were inconsiderate. That's why I say you were inconsiderate. You were judgmental to such a hard thing for a lot of people. It breaks my heart for people whose wedding had to be canceled, and they were getting married the week after Murphy called that off.
Yeah.
Yo, that's hard. Could you imagine, like, yo, oh my God, I'm going to become one, and we're going to get married. We're going to start a new life. You know, like, all the fairy tales that come in your head when you're first getting married. I feel like this is going to be a little different for us because we got 10 solid years in this now.
We got a kid, a home.
Yeah, so I feel like it's not going to be all of that. But I feel like there is going to be some sense of, like, the butterflies, like, oh, my God, and we're going to be one. So, yeah, so that you're going to feel it. Even if I have to come to your dressing room and choke it into you, like.
Dressing room.
Oh, you're not going to go to a hotel room? Oh, me and my girl's going to have a hotel room. Anyways.
We got a whole house.
Okay, that's on you. So, you know, like, that breaks my heart for those people to just, like, gear up for that moment, and then everything came crashing down on them. And now we're, like, what, 2.5 months into this whole coronavirus thing, 2.5. And everyone that is going ahead and getting married and rescheduled their reschedule, I'm sure that was so hard for them.
Yep. I mean, I know a couple people who had to reschedule.
That was so hard for them.
Even the ones who had to reschedule to move it up. For some of them, it was a big thing because now they're definitely having a smaller ceremony. So certain family members or friends can't be there.
That's hard.
Because of their health, because of age, because of their concerns. Now, even the ones that have moved it up are affected in a negative way where they can't have the ceremony they wanted. They can't have the vibes they wanted. Like I said earlier, I'm going to be DJing a wedding next month. And I know for a fact the original plan, it was going to be a vibe, you know?
Yeah.
I think it was going to be a vibe. It was going to be great people. I was going to be just attending the wedding. That's why when they called me, I was like, yo, I'm there.
Yeah, it's hard.
I want to make sure you still have something.
You as someone that was going to get married, you understand that sentiment of.
Yeah.
And you know what? And I get it. We can all be tone deaf sometimes. Surely, I know I am very guilty of that.
Mm-hmm. Tone deaf, tone blind, tone.
But I also am someone that I am open to criticism. I'm open to hearing other people's point of view. I'm open to being like, oh shit, I think I fumbled on this one. And I just feel like I don't feel like I've ever dropped the ball this close to the proximity to someone's thing. Like I've never, like, I feel like I never shitted on someone's thing this close and then had that I could be like, oh shit, I didn't even think about that. Like, not this close. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I don't feel like I have. I may be wrong because I don't recall a lot of things. So I may be wrong. But what I'm saying is, at this moment right now, I can't recall really doing that. If I have, I guarantee you I did not give a damn. And I did it because I knew what I was doing. But not on the, let me hide behind, like, yo, I wasn't thinking about it or, whatever. And that's how I feel about it. And I feel like, yo, you ain't even at the table, or you're just the hater. Like, you're already married. You had your moment. You had your wedding. Damn, sis, you should be a little more sentimental. That's like me being cold-hearted with a woman who went through a rough pregnancy and got separated from her child when she gave birth. That's like me not coping with that, not helping someone through that. I lived through that. Yeah. I know what that feels like, or like.
But a person who doesn't even who has never had a child can't comment on. Like no. Tell her,
you can have your opinion, but you also have to realize that your opinion is worthless.
Yeah.
And that. In that situation, your opinion is worthless, and you have no ground to stand on because you're just being a judgmental asshole. Like, cause you're not even bothering to try to figure out or understand someone's situation to give those 2 cents. Now, and then if I've already lived through that, and I can't find it within myself to be sympathetic to someone in a similar situation, or someone who had something that I didn't get to have, or that I had something that they didn't get to have, and I can't be sympathetic about it, and instead I'm just being judgmental, I'm also an asshole. Because it's like, damn, that's kind of messed up, especially for something like this. Like, it's not because me and Ode argued. I mean, I don't know, I almost haven't. But it's not because we argued. It's not because I'm throwing a fit and being a bridezilla. Like, no, if I can't have it my way, we're not getting married. Like, no, it's a pandemic.
Yeah.
It's a pandemic.
So long story short, you do not agree with that comment.
Hails to the no. And I'm judging everybody that judges us. Us, the couples of 2020 who are suffering.
Excuse me.
Who had to put it off or readjust.
Yeah, shout out.
In the way that we did not intend to. Everybody else got to plan and do their thing. We didn't. And we're being judged by the way we move.
And allow us to take this time to give a big congratulations to those who had to make those adjustments.
I applaud y'all. I see
Chelsea, a good friend of mine, Chelsea, is in the chat. Chelsea moved her wedding up, and last week or the week before, Chelsea got married. She is now
congratulations.
She was in the chat, so shout out to Chelsea. I want to shout your last name out. I want to give you a full government. But shout out to Chelsea and her husband. I know Heidi, I believe Heidi moved hers back to a little later this year. Or no, I think you just made the decision,
Adari also got married.
Shout out to Adari. She got married. Shout out to the Nunezes who are getting married next month. Shout out to those who booked me for weddings next year and the year after. We're going back to Mexico. Why Haitians love getting married in Mexico?
I'm saying, just be more mindful. Like, if you're someone and you're listening and you had that opinion, you saw and you were like, yo, facts. Be mindful, okay? Yeah. People planned. Think of all the baby showers. Yo, there are girls that had their baby and weren't even able to have a baby shower. Their first child, and they were not able to share that moment with their friends and family.
That's because they cared more about the baby shower, not the baby.
They care more about the baby shower, not the baby. And the facts. Those who still want to have a baby shower gonna have the baby shower. Like, do you see how dumb that sounds?
People who cancel their birthday party care more about the party
than celebrating their life. Like, yo, y'all realize how dumb that sounds?
Yeah.
Like, that sounds so dumb.
All right, let's put a cap on this conversation. So I think we're in agreement on how we feel. Again, we're not. Go ahead and feel how you feel. We feel differently. And shout out to everyone all the
feel how you
couples who are getting
feel.
married. So we're going to end with our usual segment where we play a couple cards from a game that's pretty much a conversation starter. I'm going to stop shouting out the name of the game because,
Pay us. Cut a check.
Anyways, feel free to Google conversation card games that will help you and your family, you and your relationship, your significant other. So we do this at the end of every game. Vicky's going to pick, let's do one card today. Vicky's going to pick a card, I'll pick a card. And the way this works is we have to answer the question. And it's a nice little conversation starter. This is how we're going to play, all right? So, Vicky, what is the question on your card?
I went first last time.
All right, so I will go first. Vicky. Well, okay. Wow.
This is a good one, too.
What do you think is the next step in our relationship?
Oh, that's whack.
Oh, I thought you were going to take advantage and be like, another child.
No. But I was going to say,
shut your mouth.
Other than obviously getting married. No, I'll answer it. Obviously, other than getting married, I feel like the next step. How honest do you want me to be?
Go ahead. It's not like you held back this whole episode. Go ahead.
I did hold back. Yo, let me tell y'all, I held back. I pulled back.
Answer the question. What do you think is the next step?
Okay, I feel that the next step, which I actually. Now, I'm not saying I'm cheering on coronavirus, okay? Don't nobody take my words out of context because that is not the case. But I am a little bit, let's call it, I see the silver lining in this whole coronavirus.
Okay.
I am happy that we get more time to work on us for the embarking on our marriage.
Won't he do it? God was like, listen, Ode and Vicky, y'all are so screwed up right now.
Y'all a hot ass mess and y'all really trying to get married? Hold up.
I'm going to stop the world so that you two
can get your shit together because this is it. This is it. Yeah, I feel that our next step is really getting to where we're trying to go together.
Okay.
And getting there and being there when we finally, please be gone, when we finally get there next year and get married.
Oh, okay. I was like,
no, I'm saying like be gone, viruses, illnesses, 45, just be gone. Let 21 be the year that we redeemed the 20. Okay.
What's on your card?
This is funny.
Go ahead.
Do you believe there is the one for you?
Yes.
And am I it? You know what's funny? I've actually wanted to always ask you that. As weird as that is.
Do I believe you are the one?
Yeah. Do you feel that there is such a thing as the one? And do you feel that I am really it? You gotta be honest on there. Don't feel pressured because you already proposed to me and we have a podcast and a kid in a house.
Speaking of the one, there's the one. There's my one. All right. You want leche?
You want leche?
All right.
You like that, right? I trained them to walk straight to Ode for those requests. He wants to see himself on the
Yes,
camera.
Vicky, you are the one. If you weren't, I wouldn't have asked you to marry me. I don't know if you recall. I think about this a lot. I've thought about this, especially when I've had like sessions with my therapist. I don't know if you remember. There was a night that we were together, and this was like after we had broken up, got back together, and I said to you, I do think you are my greatest love. And
was that around my graduation?
No. I think that was before. If I knew what to come, probably wouldn't have said it then. I'm joking.
I mean,
but I did.
You're right. I can't.
But we wouldn't be here, even though getting here was a bumpy ride. If I didn't feel you were the one, I wouldn't still be here. I'm sure you wouldn't still be here if you didn't feel like I was the one.
Yeah.
I don't think the universe would have kept us this long together through everything if you weren't the one.
Here.
So this was clearly a topic that touched the nerve, and we're glad we were able to, share our thoughts with it. And I think, like Heidi mentioned, this was a topic and a conversation that she needed. So I hope this helped anyone who are in our situation, or who are, over the next week or month or so, they're going to find themselves in our situation. And again, shout out to everybody who did get married. Whether you just went to the court or you planned something small, shout out to y'all, because that is...
And shout out to the people who said, nope, I want it how I want it, how I planned it, and I'm going to wait. I'm with you.
Awesome.
It's painful. It's painful. It's painful. I feel you. I feel you wanting people there to share that moment with you, and you shouldn't be made to feel bad about choosing that. You just cut out the people who are being judgy.
Thank
For
you all
real.
for tuning in. One thing we haven't done in a while, we haven't shouted out our talented friends. I know a
I
lot of our friends
know.
are doing some amazing things, and since we have you guys here, from my end, I want to quickly shout out to
Damn, he just threw this on me.
no, can I give my shout outs?
Go ahead.
I want
I'll
to
do it next
quickly
week.
shout out some amazing friends of mine. Shout out to TC Media, who she's on an app called Station Head, where a lot of people have their own radio station. I believe her birthday is coming up, or it's today. She has her show. And shout out to Vince Bracey, he's also on there. And shout out to Chase Parker. He has some. I think one of his films actually got selected for like a mini film festival. And of course, shout out to the Sorry for Interrupting podcast. You guys are doing amazing things over there. Great episode this week. And I want to quickly shout out the Moms Make It Work podcast. It's a podcast that I
Yes.
actually listen to. It's a quick listen. Each episode is like 8 minutes, 5 minutes. I listen to it in the morning sometimes while I'm making my coffee. It's a great way to start. I got a message last week, one of the episodes. Shout out to everybody that's just doing amazing things, all my talented friends. There was one person I wanted to shout out, and as I was talking, I totally forgot who it was. But anyways, the new Hype Show. The new Hype Show with my man C Biz. Shout out to the new Hype Show. I am looking forward to his episode this week because I know for a fact he's going to tackle what's going on right now in Minneapolis. And
Oh, my
Biz,
goodness.
when Biz talks, he's an orator, he's a storyteller. So he's very passionate, and it sucks that he's talked about this topic I think 3 weeks ago when something happened. So I'm looking forward to hearing Biz's comments on it.
Mm-hmm.
It sucks that I have to hear Biz talk about this again, but he's the kind of person that I want to hear from because the way he talks about certain things such as this, he's a father, he's a black man, but he's in setting where he will stand out because he is a young black man in a setting with the suits and stuff like that. So he knows what he's talking about, and I'm looking forward to this week's episode of the new Hype Show because I really want to hear what Biz has to say, and I encourage you guys to check it out and check out his previous episode, which was I think it was America the Beautiful, AMERIKKKA. It was a great episode. So shout out to all of our amazing friends. Vicky?
You kind of put me on the spot, but I'll shout out my friends another day. But I think that everyone should just say a prayer for
For the world. I mean,
for black people.
Yeah.
I'm just, you know what?
You're right. You're right.
Just say a prayer for black people, because
It's scary, man.
it's heartbreaking, and I've seen people post like, if you're silent, you have chosen a side, and it's true. If you are silent about this, you're choosing a side, and R.I.P. to that lady's life. I 100% agree with Amanda Seals. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go to Amanda Seals' Instagram, and you will know exactly what I'm talking about. And I feel everything she said. I agree 100%.
I had a dream years ago. I remember this was like 2013, I think it was, 2014. I remember having a dream because during the day, I had taken some students to Lehman College, and we sat around at the table and we were having lunch at a conference we were at, and we were talking about dreams and goals. And later on at night when I came home, I had a dream about that conversation. And one of my students in the dream asked me, Ode, what's your goal? What's your dream? What's your passion? And I remember in the dream, 'cause I remember I woke up crying. In the dream, I started crying, and because my response was, hey, every time I go out, I just want to make sure I get back home. And I was crying in my dream because I don't know what was going on around that time, but I remember my response being, I just want to get back home.
It's scary.
Yeah.
It is scary, and it's a scary time, and I think that it's no longer it didn't happen to me, it's not whatever, I shouldn't say anything. Like, no, you can't do that anymore.
It sucks because we are about to, sometime coming up soon, we're about to go for a drive somewhere. We're going to go on a road trip. And the first thing I thought was like, oh, let me go into the closet and grab my GoPro and all that stuff. Cause let me grab my usual I'm traveling south.
Keep the phone charged.
Yeah, let me grab my I'm traveling south kit.
Yo,
sucks.
for real. Listen, I just pray for Black people. Stick with Black people. Support Black people. You don't have to be Black to feel the pain. You just gotta be a freaking human with a heart. Like, it's horrible, and we have to protect them. We have to protect each other, and demand more. Demand more out of people, because this ain't it. And I want a better life for my son. Listen, I just don't even want to put that in the air, because I can't control myself.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Vicky's Rants. I was just here.
When I tell you, I was like, I'm gonna hurt people's feelings, and I really do not care.
Thank you all for tuning in to the You, Me, We podcast.